Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my reaction to Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. This is the finale, and I am so hyped for this episode because so far this show hasn't let me down. And I am genuinely super excited to see how they make it exciting for both the book readers as well as the TV show viewers. It's going to be really hype. I have a few theories, I always do. So let's get started with some of the theories. As I've mentioned before, with Thalia, I feel like a couple of things can happen. One, we don't see her wake up at all until the very end of the episode. Like, none of the hype that I've been creating for myself regarding Percy and Thalia's fight, it doesn't really happen, and she just wakes up at the end, just like how the book does it. Two, Thalia wakes up mid fight between the campus and Luke's army, and she either sees Luke getting hurt by Percy or Annabeth getting hurt by someone, and she kind of goes into overdrive and starts hurting people without really realizing what's happening. Or she sees Luke fighting someone and she's just like, what's happening? Or she sees Luke fighting Annabeth and she genuinely goes, what's happening? Like, it makes her pause and really think about what the situation is like, because Annabeth has grown up, Luke has grown up. She might not even recognize the fact that the girl who Luke is fighting against is Annabeth. Like, she just thinks that it's just another person, not like, because when she died, Annabeth was like a tiny baby, so she might not really realize that. So those are some of the things, some of the ways that I see the fight happening. She either joins Luke's side or she fights from Percy's side. If she does join Percy's side, it is going to be a huge vibe check, as well as like a space where Luke goes, what? Why would you not fight with me? Like, I'm doing all of this kind of because of what happened to you. Yes, it's fueled by a lot of what happened to me personally as well, but what happened with you plays a huge role in the fight that I'm fighting right now. So why wouldn't you fight on my side? So it might make him pause and reevaluate scenarios. I'm really hyped to see what happens and how it goes about happening. Another thing that I have been reflecting upon is that the gods are playing a more active role in this war, unlike in the book. Here's why. I think the gods actively start taking part in the war or in the battle pretty much towards the end. Right, in book 5, that's when they're actively fighting Kronos. Until then, it's all been pretty much the kids fighting the war. The gods don't play a lot of role or any role in it whatsoever. Hera does play a brief role in the Battle of Labyrinth, but yeah, I mean, it's not once again, it's like towards the very end of the war, or when it's reaching the peak, is when the gods are actively taking part in it, and it's not something that is happening right from the get go. But what I think they are doing in the show is that the gods are playing an active role right from the start. Here's why. Once again, thinking about it, there's literally zero reason for Zeus to kick out Chiron in the show from the camp. Because what did he do? It doesn't really match up and make a lot of sense for me, unless Zeus has an agenda where he's like, let me remove Chiron from the camp and see what happens. See what are the decisions that are being made right now, who is attacking camp. Like, it's more of a tactical, strategic removal as opposed to firing him just because he's the son of Kronos. If Zeus is playing it like that, it would be really cool. If not, that's once again a very dumb decision, and I don't really get the concept of it. I get it from the gods are often doing random stuff just for the sake of doing random stuff, but it needs to be more than that, at least for me as a viewer, for me to be like, ooh. The other reason why I think the gods are playing a more active role is, at least that is what the hypothesis of the kids from Luke's army was that Zeus cut off the Iris network to ensure that there's not a lot of communication happening. There is Poseidon at the camp for some reason. Why? I don't know. If he's just there to be like, oh, I'm proud of you, Percy, I'm proud of you, Tyson, thank you for being here. Oh, Sally, hi, by the way, it's been a long time. What you been up to? Outside of that, if he's there for a more deeper reason, like Zeus asking him to check in on the camp and see what's happening there, and maybe ensuring that Percy sticks to the side of gods as opposed to going over to Kronos' side, but Zeus being like, make sure that this is a much more gentler approach as opposed to do not leave the god's side, Perseus Jackson. I think Zeus might have asked Poseidon to do something like that. I'm not really sure if Poseidon is here of his own free will. That's going to be crazy. If he isn't there because of his own free will and it is because Zeus asked him to check in, is going to be chaotic and crazy. And I'm kind of gunning for the fact that Zeus is playing a more active role in the show. I would love to see it. So let's see what's happening. But before that, our final blue food of the day. What I have done is, because it's the finale and I kind of wanted to indulge a bit, I've made Oreo brownies and I've topped it up with blueberry jam. I've been wanting to make this for a while now for the finale, and I'm hyped to make it. It's not essentially blue food, but it's kind of blue food, and I'm kind of vibing with it. So we have our blue food. I'm holding fast. Let's get started with the finale of Perseus Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Boom, boom, boom.
So, when we get to camp, she could already be there?
Don't stop. Don't look back and be prepared for anything.
No,
I get where Thalia is coming from, but also at the same time, I would have been like, let's start running instead of sitting here and discussing battle strategies. Like, run, see how far you can go. I know she was like, if they have one person to attack, which is me, then we can get Annabeth to safety. Absolutely, I'm here for it. But also at the same time, I would have ran as opposed to battle strategizing. It's not going to be my very first thought that, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice myself today. It feels like that kind of a day.
nothing. Just look out!
Gods above, I would have had flashbacks from season 1 where they almost crash into the Minotaur. Oh my god, that was crazy. It's a good thing it was Blackjack. I literally was like, what now? What now? I was also kind of hoping for Grover to go, Percy, are you scared? Are you like worried about something? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. Because satyrs can feel the emotions of the people around them, and Grover and Percy specifically have a deeper connection because of the empathy link. So he could potentially be like, something's wrong. What's up? Are you worried about Thalia? What's happening? I feel like even if it is not happening now, I would love to see something like that in the later part of the episode. It would be really cool to see something like that.
I know him.
Hey, Nelson. Okay. You guys are growing up so fast. And your world is... You have a lot to carry.
I feel for Sally because she's just sitting there like, what's going on? Like, how much do I not know about you guys? Like, you know a horse, and Percy looks like he's going to go and talk to the horse. So she's like, some new powers you want to talk to me about, Percy? Like, what's happening? Poor lady. She's really hoping that Poseidon wore that condom, eh? I really do want to know if the gods can wear condoms or not. Like, yes, have sex, whatever. But also at the same time, if you know that a kid with your powers can destroy the world or heal the world, but mostly destroy the world, and you know the fate that often lands on heroes from the second they take their very first breath, why not wear condoms? I really want to know if condoms are effective though. Like, is there a possibility that by wearing a condom, the divine kid is not born? You know what I mean? Even if human condoms don't work, the gods by this point in time should have been able to devise something that prevents pregnancies from happening, eh?
I watched the Minotaur.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, trauma! The fact that Percy definitely has trauma from seeing his mom die, and it happened just a few paces away. Like, no, that's fair. That's fair. I love that. I love that inclusion. That's crazy.
I can't let you get close to that kind of danger again. Okay?
Sally immediately going, neither can I though. I can't see you going into that kind of a danger. Like, you're a kid. You shouldn't have to deal with all of this stuff. I get it, but also you shouldn't have to deal with all of this stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to see her go from here to then pulling up with a Glock in the final battle of Manhattan, just going to town with all the monsters, like just... That would be crazy. Also, I feel like this is a good setup for that. You know, they're setting it up right away that, hey, because in the book, Sally is kind of like, I don't want to be a part of that world. As less as we talk about it, the better. But here we are kind of actively seeing her go, you know what? I need to be prepared for anything. Oh, I love that.
I was a charioteer myself.
The second Tantalus shows up on screen, the second I hear his voice, it makes me want to punch him. Oh my god, such an annoying brat. Also, I'm wondering, is Zeus going to bring Chiron back into action when the camp is in danger? He's like, I have done as much recon as I can. Now, the kids of the Olympian Council, the heroes that are going to defend Olympus, need help. Go.
We are barely going to finish in time to get the races going again.
Screw the races! There won't be any camp!
None of you have seen a real siege.
This bitch, right? Like, oh my god. His priorities are wacky. And the fact that he's placing himself almost at the same level as gods, like, yeah, you know what, kids, Schmitz, like, I would much rather have this race because entertainment, as opposed to being like, let me save camp. Like, I knew he was annoying. This reiterates the fact that he's annoying, but gods above, he's so annoying. The kids, man, the kids would be so pissed off. Like, even in the book, I think the kids kind of have a rotation of patrolling the border consistently, kind of on the down low and kind of on the hush hush, because Tantalus and Dionysus were like, nothing's going to happen, everything's going to be fine. But with a siege right there, oh my god, that's kind of crazy. I also have a feeling this exact moment is when a lot of the kids are going to decide to join Luke's army. Crazy stuff, man. Even if Chris wasn't actively planning on joining the army, he is going to now.
Oh, come on.
I know dramatic effect and all of that jazz, but oh my god, I kind of preferred the book version where he's sent back because Dionysus is like, oh, it looks like Chiron was right. So I guess your tenure as camp's activity directors is done, and then Tantalus has the cheeseburger in his hand and Dionysus just like waves his hand and he goes back to the underworld. That was so much more juicy. I mean, this is nice too, but I kind of prefer that because the campers are cheering. Dionysus is like, that's right, I'm gonna be smart, I'm gonna have some brownie points here. But crazy stuff, let's go. War is here.
But when the battle is over, the tree must still stand. The war will be decided by a child of the Big Three. Thalia will destroy Olympus. She is the most powerful demigod alive.
I feel like Luke keeps getting suckered in, and the language and tone that he often uses comes off as maniacal and almost like, we're gonna be able to do everything, Thalia is gonna save us, Percy is gonna save us. And so a lot of times, if someone is rambling like that in front of me, I'm gonna brush them aside. So I have a feeling Allison is just going to be like, you know what, I'm gonna just destroy the tree. Like, I don't really care. And I wanna see the consequences of that action. Ooh.
Because Thalia is the only thing Luke cares about more than Kronos.
You think she'll be on our side because she's your friend?
That's right.
But she's Luke's friend too. She'd have to choose between the two of you. You can't imagine what that's like.
I love this discussion and this conversation though, because Percy gets it, but ooh, I was kind of hoping Percy would be like, she's known you for 2 months, Annabeth, why would she choose you over Luke? Kind of pull the same crap that he pulled with Clarius, because that would be so good. But then I was like, he actively doesn't need to be completely honest right now. He's not fighting Annabeth, he's just having a conversation with her. Like, yes, the stakes are higher, but he's just having a conversation with her. So, ooh, it would be fun if he had said it, but also it would have been so out of character for him.
Who's in charge of camp defense then?
I'm my own great 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 grandpa.
That smirk Percy had when he's like, who's in charge of camp defense then? Oh, the entertainer, right? He's gonna help us defend camp. Right, let's go. Like, I could read his thoughts. That was so juicy. I love that. But also, you know what? I love the fact that Mr. D is singing to the kids. Like, not all of them are warriors. This helps keep them calm and in a safe space. I know that's not probably his intention, but if it is, ooh, kind of vibing with it. Let's go.
Luke, his monsters and demigods getting ready to march into camp right now.
So,
You're camp director.
you kids are going to have to start working out your differences on your own.
The differences exist because of you guys, you dumbass. Oh my god. I mean, see, I get where he's coming from. He's a god, okay? He's had to deal with this nonsense a lot. So he's just like, I don't really care. I'm here to provide entertainment. I'ma entertain myself if no one is entertaining me. I get it. Not really, but I get his point of view just like a tiny bit. But also, oh my god, okay, if kids are actively in danger, you should still step up. Is Chiron being there going to be the thing that makes you go, oh, you know what? Let me jump in now.
Stand up!
Watch Dionysus, like it would be so cool. But if Dionysus goes, you're done? Okay, awesome. You're still exiled, by the way, so I'm gonna kick you out because I mean, I hope it doesn't do that, because honestly, him being quiet right now is the only thing that's making me go, I like you, but also I want to punch you in the face.
Why did they stop?
The campers having to fight Luke's demigods is going to be such a shocker though, because they are used to fighting monsters, not human beings. How do you go from, oh, I'm protecting camp to, I might have to take a life right now and I'm not really prepared for it? Like, they might just end up getting used as hostage. Oh my god, it sucks. Plus they're kids. You don't just switch mode, right? Clever storytelling, but
You know, some of us are worried that there's enemies in camp. Traitors. It's just, like the way Katie took a shot at you.
That's so smart, but oh my god, I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it. He's actively turning campers against each other. Oh my god. Ah.
Luke always had my back. Just give me the fleece.
Why does that tiny moment of betrayal hurt more than the betrayal that I was kind of dreaming about? That he will betray her during the quest. Oh my god, that hurts. Ugh. Because now every camper is going to start doubting each other. And so it's literally divide and conquer. Crazy strategy, works every single time, but god damn.
Thinking we were friends. Maybe you forgot you don't have those.
The way I am hoping for Percy to just attack from behind and be like, no, she does have friends. Better ones than you, bitch. It's my fault I was shipping you guys together. Won't happen again. Also, kiddo, why are you monologuing right now? You have the fleece. Go! Well, villain monologues is one of the biggest reasons why heroes end up saving the day at the end of the day. Watch Allison take a shot at Percy from the back or something like that.
It was always Thalia.
Annabeth, baby girl, this is the perfect time to hit Luke. Watch a random camper end up hitting Luke, though that would be so funny and chaotic. Don't take any of the shots you get.
Bring the tree down! Now!
If Percy takes the fleece and puts it on Annabeth Llama, that would be so hilarious. But also, Luke, do you see Allison actively disregarding your orders? I called this, but this would be the perfect time to just hit her or knock her out. You know, just like knock her out. Like, but I also have a feeling Percy is not going to be able to put the fleece and it's going to be Clarice who puts the fleece. End of the day, all of them want to put the fleece on Thalia's tree. So like maybe stop fighting and just put the fleece and then be like, okay, yeah, that's done. Let's start fighting again. Like you're all working towards the same goal at this point in time. So like let them do whatever they want to do. Hey. If we had wisdom, we would be somewhere else. No, that was crazy though. Oh my god, because oh my god, no, that was crazy because she was still caught in the action of it all. She shoots Percy by mistake. Percy gets electrocuted and knocked out. Thalia gets knocked out because she's just come back to life. Oh, crazy direction. Ooh, mama, let's go. Also, in some way, shape, or form, it's kind of like Percy's dream did come true, but not in a very negative way. It's more like, okay, it's kind of like accidental, you know, like, yeah, he might die, but at least it was an accidental death and not an intentional, I'ma kill you, bitch. I mean, you know what? My theory of Thalia ending up hitting Percy was still valid. It's just that it didn't happen the way I thought it would, but cool.
This is not death.
So what, he didn't even come to check on him physically. He's like, I'll be there in your dreams. Percy was like, holy shit, did I just get converted into another tree? Because Poseidon was like, in my mercy, I'ma convert you into a tree so that you don't die.
You've grown.
That's how life works, Poseidon? Otherwise he would be dead? You've grown. Maybe check in a couple of times on your kid.
A great stirring is underway. The Titans walk loose from their prison.
You know what? I would be so pissed off. You're showing up after such a long time and you can't even be bothered to look me in the eye and talk to me. Like you're looking somewhere far away to talk about the war. Like, I'm right here. Why do you have to look away? Oh my god, that would have pissed me off so much. I kid you not. I would just be like, where are you looking? Where are you looking? Look at me and talk. Look at me and talk. Would I be killed because I was super annoying? Yes. Would I still do it? Yes.
War is inevitable. I need my son by my side.
You know what a super big fumble looks like? It looks like that. I called it, okay? I was like, this bitch is here not to be like, oh, you're dying. Let me be here and take care of you. It's more like, oh, you're dying. Never mind. You might potentially die multiple times throughout this journey. But hey, just stay by my side. You'll still die, but at least you'll be by my side. What am I doing for you? Nothing. Do I still want you to fight my fight for me? Yes, please. Loser! Oh my god, I called it, okay? He's here not to be like, oh, I love you, son, I'm proud of you, son, or something like that. More so just to ensure that Percy stays on the side of the gods. Oh my god, so annoying. It's not like Zeus is there visiting Thalia. He probably is. He's like, Thalia, I have done nothing for you. But you know what? I want you to stay by my side and fight for the gods. If Zeus does something like that, immediately Thalia is going to join Luke's side, Lamo. Maybe that's why Zeus is like, you know what, I won't even bother. If I do something, if I do anything right now, it's just going to lead her to walk away. So I'm not going to try, which is still annoying. Like, at least try, you bitch.
We have need of your skills to craft weapons for the war to come.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Just talk to them like they are your kids because they are your kids. What is this commanding of your kids? Oh my god. Just be like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, God, support.
It was really, really hard. Prayed for a friend. And now I sent a brother.
Carry the burden of deciding the fate of the universe.
Is that why you had me?
Love another.
Sally's like, I just wanted you to meet someone. Oh no, mom, don't worry about it. Do you know what dad told me? Dad told me that he loves you. And Paul Blufus is just standing there like, that is a mastermind plan if I've ever seen one.
Chiron approved us to use most of the nectar in storage for healing people up.
Chiron.
Wanted to see you as soon as you woke up.
Yeah, he has to make sure that Percy is on the side of the gods, yeah? Every single time, okay, I see kids fighting wars for adults. It's like they're pushed into the mold of child soldiers, having to carry their burdens. Oh, honestly, at this point in time, if Zeus hasn't been masterminding this whole game plan, I would be so pissed off. Also, that's such a dumb thing, right? Like, Chiron approved us to use most of the nectar in the storage to heal people up. Did you want them to die? Did you want them to suffer? I don't know why that was a line there, because what nonsense. Also, I want a point where Percy genuinely is like, all these people are just using me, which is annoying as hell, but all they're doing is using me. I want that moment of like him not being caught up in the manipulation of it all and being like, oh shit, they're using me. Like, I don't know what to do with that information, but at least I'm aware of the fact that I'm being used. That would be so cool.
I got my own assignment. Thanks.
What do you mean Grover has his own assignment? It's literally like, can you go out there and start searching for more demigods for us to use? Oh my god. I mean, hey, I kind of said it back when I was reading the book. The gods can just have more babies, more demigods on their side for the greater good of it all. But also at the same time, oh my god.
Congratulations, Clarice. Just give me a shut up, Jackson.
Shut up, Jackson.
I know I shouldn't say this, okay? Because I'm honestly the biggest Perkabeth lover of this entire world, right? Like, I was there when the book started and we started seeing them interacting with each other and I was like, oh, nice. I see it. I know I shouldn't say it, but Percy and Clarice also have such a good vibe. Like, I know enemies to potential friends where they're just like, but also they've had such good chemistry this entire season and I'm like, oh, I know, let me just ignore it. But that one scene just made me go, huh. And then I'm like, no. But then, huh. But then, no. But like, You know what I mean? I'm sorry, okay. Listen, I'm the biggest Perkabeth lover out there. These two made me believe in love from the heterosexual side of things. So, I vibe with them. But also, do you see the potential of a Percy to Clarice ship? Ooh. LaRue. I'm sorry.
You deserve to know the truth of what really happened that night that you arrived.
Another layer?
I prepared to defend the young girl. Instead, they spoke. Until they said too much. The Furies had delivered a message from Hades, who knew exactly how to drive a wedge between Father and daughter.
I've tolerated this rebellious phase long enough. You're nearly 16.
How long have the gods been around? How do you fumble that hard? How do you not know how to emotionally regulate yourself and talk to your own kids? God damn it. This whole episode has just been making me feel pissed off at the gods. Okay, Poseidon just being like, oh, I need you to be on my side, blah, blah, blah. Sending Tyson away. Zeus showing up for the very first time and being, oh, you've been rebellious for too long. I've allowed this for too long. Huh? You have hardly been present in her life. It's like that meme, you know? Oh, Lloyd. He's like, my name is Lloyd, Dad. No, L-L-O-Y-D. You ruined my life. How can I ruin your life? I wasn't even in it. But like, that's what it feels like. Oh my God. So goddamn annoying. Ugh. At first, Chiron was standing there and I was like, sir, what are you doing? Just kill the Furies. But then he was like, no, I was prepared to defend her. But then he was like, let me see what they have to say. Information is always fun until it became too much. He's just standing there. Oh my God, this is crazy. Like, it doesn't happen like this in the books, right? Like, Thalia genuinely fought off multiple monsters to prevent them from following Annabeth and Luke and Groover. Zeus in his mercy. Zeus potentially killed her and then turned her into a tree like, oh, my mercy, bitch. Oh my God, this is so annoying. Oh my God. Why would she be on the side of the gods now? She would honestly be the first person to be joining Luke's army and Kronos' side. Oh my God. Must have done some random nonsense, like, you know, just in a fit of fury. He must have just zonked her out and then turned her into a tree so that no one realizes the truth. I was hoping for Zeus to be someone smart, okay? For being someone who actively does something for the war. Instead, he's just here like, hey, by the way, why don't you become a child soldier? I've done nothing for you. Do everything for me. Sacrifice your life for me.
You would be idolized by the other demigods who would fight each other to bask in your glory.
Zeus isn't even my father and I'm more than happy to disappoint him right now. Oh my God, such an annoying bitch. It's like you don't know how to talk to your own kid. How do you not know how to talk to your own kid? Like, if you're trying to make sure that she joins your side, at least know what she likes. She's not someone who's like, oh, let people fight each other so that they could be in my glory. She's like, oh, I want to take care of people. I want to take care of our own. That was literally the opposite thing to do. Oh my God, so frustrating.
Thalia Grace, you will not walk away from me.
Hear my words. I will never be your weapon. Do you hear me?
I honestly don't know how they're going to convince Thalia to not join Kronos' side. But I guess this just makes it a bit more easier for her to go, hey, by the way, I'm a being Huntress of Artemis. I do not want to take on this prophecy, which makes so much more sense when she gives up the prophecy and lets Percy handle it. Honestly, oh my God, can I be honest with you all? Like, if that was my dad, I would be joining the other side. I don't even care, okay? I would be like, yeah, man. If Luke knew the truth, he would have joined Kronos then, exactly at that point in time. Oh my God.
Where's Luke?
You guys get nightmares, right? Not like mine, because mine just woke up.
Fun. Not Percy going, oh, you guys get nightmares, right? Because mine just woke up. Like, shut up, bitch. What? You should be like, no, I get it though. Like, my dad was honestly exactly like that. It was like, be a soldier. Be on my side, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Like, and why weren't they talking? Why were they just staring at each other? Everyone was just looking at Percy as if Percy was the one who killed Luke. No, Percy just threw him off. Percy didn't even throw him off. It was Tyson who threw him off. So, like, crazy stuff. Let me see if there's anything happening in the end.
Georgia, I was lost within the darkness, but then I found you.
The prom scene, let's go. Let's go. Do you know how much I squealed and giggled as a teenager when I read that scene? We're getting Titan's Curse this year. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, they did say that they had finished filming it completely, so I can see how that is possible, but ooh, that's crazy. When this year? So probably December? Oh, but that's crazy. I love it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's see if there are anything else in the end credits.
If you wish to take the accelerated course, there are limited spots tests, but the results are undeniable.
That was so businesswoman of her though, like, it's not like they're going to come back and tell you the truth that, hey, by the way, she actively prevented us from crossing the siren. But this makes me think of how Hila and Reyna even escaped Cersei's island, because the reason why they are able to escape the first time around is because of the pirates who attack Cersei's island and then they take them away. So that's what happens. I don't know what is going to happen here, how they are going to escape. Fun things to see. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, fun season overall, layers upon layers. We are getting a bit more of the fleshed out story. We are getting new elements in the story. I can't wait to see what happened to Luke. Zeus was such a bitch though. I was genuinely like, he might be planning something, but he's like, nah, I'm just here to cause chaos and kill my only daughter. Knowing what he did to Jason, oh my god, that's a deeper layer. Like, also this makes me think Thalia has already joined the Hunters of Artemis, because she's not there in the school dance. So maybe she just immediately joins the Hunters. She's like, I don't want to join the side of Kronos, but I don't want to fight the war. Right? Like that's the vibe that I got, that she might re-enter the game plan when the Hunters come to protect the kids. It was a good episode. It was a good finale. I know we didn't get enough of a war, but I think we are going to get that anyways in the Battle of Labyrinth. Alicent is probably promoted to a higher rank. I do want to see the consequences of the campers and the distrust that comes with it, because they're all going to distrust each other. They're all going to be like, we don't know who the spy is. We don't know who's actively still in the camp, posing as one of the campers, but is actually a part of Luke's army. We don't know how many more people end up joining Luke's army. I still do feel like the gods, if not the gods, at least Chiron should be doing more. Also Zeus, man, such a bitch. I'm even pissed off with Poseidon, to be completely honest. I was like, you've been here for the first time in so long. Talk to your kid. Hermes is more of a dad to Percy than Poseidon is. Well, Hermes is less of a dad to all of his own kids. That's why this whole war scenario is happening in the first place. I can't wait to see season 3. I can't wait to see you in the book reread. We will be doing the book reread of Percy Jackson, the last 2 chapters. We didn't get the party ponies. I was really hoping for the party ponies to arrive. Zeus honestly just removed Chiron for the sake of it, which is so dumb. It doesn't make any more sense than it did at the start of this entire season. I was honestly ready to retract my statement of maybe Zeus is not that dumb. But no. He is dumb as hell. Okay. Also, Chiron going, oh, by the way, Hades wanted to create a rift between, like, Hades didn't do anything. Right? Like, okay, maybe he was trying to be a bitch about it. He hardly did anything. Zeus did that all by himself. That kid doesn't know how to talk to his own kid. Oh my god. Okay. This was both most frustrating episode I've seen so far, but also at the same time a really good episode. Not my top episode. I would still say that the Cersei's Island episode was really hype for me. Maybe I'll do a episode ranking at a later point in time, because I genuinely want to sit with this episode before I do a episode ranking immediately. But yeah, that will come soon. I shall see you in the book reread of the last 2 chapters of Perseus Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Until then, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me your favorite theories. Tell me your favorite bits from this episode. And if you would like to support me further, check out my Patreon, where you get the extended cut of a lot of episodes as well as early access to them. You get to support me and cheer me on so that I can keep building amazing content like this and keep fueling this channel. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Toodaloo.